Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly, the show where we take a look at some of the awesome mods that have come out in the past week for Fallout 4. Today we have an absolute boatload of mods, mostly weapon mods, but also some other cool stuff like a brand new, wonderful set of power armor by an amazing, talented author. So stay tuned, we've got a lot of really cool stuff to show off, some really incredible releases, including mods that you guys have been waiting for a very long time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Starting off with the first mod, the NDR Rifle by AnotherOne, aka Retro Paladin. This is going to add a brand new weapon into Fallout 4, complete with custom models and textures, brand new animations, and of course a ton of customization over at the weapons workbench. If you're familiar with Retro Paladin's work, then you know this is some top-notch stuff, absolutely high-quality mods, and this one is no different. The NDR Rifle is a retro experimental weapon in real life, making it a perfect candidate for the Fallout 4 sandbox, as that's where you see a lot of Fallout's classic weapons. When it comes to in-game implementations, this fits the perfect role of an assault rifle, sadly a category that just isn't really present in the vanilla game, and this weapon does definitely fill that gap. With the variety of customization options, you can have this thing be a long-range semi-automatic DMR of sorts, or a full-auto close-range lead sprayer. Like I said earlier, this weapon does come with custom animations, and that's going to include not only first and third-person animations, but even third-person power armor animations, a pretty rare sight. And there's even already a third-party patch that will add tactical reload to this weapon. If you want to get your hands on this thing, it is actually one of a kind, and you'll need to head over to Fort Hagen to grab this thing. Simply head up to the roof where you will find a dead soldier from pre-war that is holding this weapon dearly. Altogether, this makes for a wonderful new lore-friendly addition to the game. The only thing that's slightly off about this thing is the very modern sights added to this weapon, but that's actually the same for all of Retro Paladin mods, so it's not really that big of a deal. You can choose which modifications you decide to attach to this thing, and it's not even added to leveled lists, so you don't have to worry about those things spawning on enemies. If the modern sights are really that much of a bother though, you can always edit them out in Fallout 4 Edit or the CK. Before we move on to the next mod, I'm going to go ahead and show off the reload animations and sounds so you can see exactly what this thing is like in-game. Moving on to our next mod, we actually have another Retro Paladin release, as typically happens, and that is the Huot Automatic Rifle by, again, AnotherOne, aka Retro Paladin. This is an awesome classic rifle, one that I've actually seen requested a few times on Discord and on YouTube, and now it is finally here in the form of a Fallout 4 mod. Considering this is made by Retro Paladin, you can expect a lot of the things I said about the last mod to apply to this one. It comes with beautiful custom models and textures, and some wonderful new custom animations, and of course modifications over at the weapons workbench. I actually really like the modifications for this one, as they are very distinct for this weapon, including some really interesting heatsink modifications given the construction of the barrel on this weapon, and even a customizable dust cover for the very strange upper on this gun. This is definitely one of the weirdest real-life firearms, so it definitely fits the Fallout 4 aesthetic of just goofy stuff, but it's still made out of hard steel and wood. Much like the last mod, this does have custom animations, both first, third, and even third-person power armor animations. Unlike the last one though, as of recording this, there is no tactical reload support just yet. If you want to get your hands on this weapon, just like the last mod, you're actually going to have to head to Fort Hagen as well. So if you grab both of these, make sure to do them all in one trip. Rather than the roof though, this one is actually found in the underground parking garage. Simply head in there and you will find a soldier trying to reach into some sort of a military crate. Finagle your way around that thing and eventually you'll be able to grab the Huot Automatic Rifle. This is definitely one that's worth checking out just for the really interesting reload, very cool design, and altogether just a fun new weapon unlike anything else on the Nexus. Much like the last mod, before we move on, let's go ahead and show off that reload animation and sounds. Now, the third mod we're checking out today is actually another retro rifle, the classic Gewehr 43 battle rifle by Broodahood and Sovereign. We actually do have a G43 mod already on the Nexus, but this one is a bit newer, has a little bit more polish, and a few extra features. This thing sports a very high quality model and set of textures, as well as some bonus textures you can apply over at the weapons workbench. It of course comes with beautiful custom animations and some really high quality sounds. I was actually very impressed by this thing and how much it sounds like a real world firearm. One thing that does differentiate this mod from the last two is that it actually comes with leveled list support in the form of an optional file. If you do opt for that leveled list patch, it will start spawning out in the world on enemies after level 20. Alternatively, without the patch, you can just get it from traders or craft it over at the chemistry station. This mod also has compatibility with tactical reload and even the side aim framework, so you can use custom canted sight animations. One thing to note when downloading this mod, the base file does require the armament mod for the custom ammunition, but there is a patch if you don't want to use that will add a standalone ammo type specifically for this mod. This is yet another beautiful retro weapon to add to Fallout 4, and much like the last two mods, let's go ahead and check out those animations and sounds because on this one they're absolutely beautiful. Now the next mod we're checking out is, of course, another weapon mod. Lots of weapons this week. This is known as the Radvolver, a makeshift gamma revolver by G43 This is a really cool new NIF-bashed energy weapon, perfect for the Children of Atom. This is not going to feature any new custom animations since it is based on the vanilla 44 revolver, but it does have some really interesting quirks that make it a very unique gun that I think is worth adding to your load order. First of all, this thing is added to the leveled list and will start spawning out on the Children of Atom, which is a very, very underutilized category. This weapon will start spawning on members of the Children of Atom faction after level 4, and there's even a unique version known as Cold Fusion. The unique can be found by heading over to the Mass Fusion Containment Shed. Once you head to the location, simply head inside and you will find a locked room where this weapon will be sitting on the shelf. Ignore the missing textures, that's actually an issue on my end. It works perfectly fine for everybody else. As far as the weapon performs in-game, it is actually nothing like its 44 revolver counterpart except in terms of animations. It fires more of a gamma gun style projectile that is actually pretty effective in combat, at least when you're shooting against humanoid targets. Anything that's not quite susceptible to radiation isn't going to be affected much by this weapon, similar to the vanilla gamma gun. While this thing does use mostly vanilla assets, I think the addition of it to the leveled list of the Children of Atom plus its unique design add a nice bit of variety to Fallout 4's weapon sandbox. Now the next mod we're checking out is one to be very, very excited about. This is the Winchester 1887, also known as the Lever Action Shotgun by Pig and Bwones. This is going to add back the classic lever action shotgun from Fallout New Vegas into Fallout 4, complete with a brand new set of models and textures, beautiful custom animations by Bwones, and a couple of other neat features we'll get into right now. Now this mod actually did drop as I was editing together this Mods Weekly, so I didn't have as much time to go full in-depth on everything, so expect a much bigger breakdown sometime in the near future. But while we're here, let's cover the basics. Again, this mod has beautiful new custom models and textures, custom animations, actually 2 sets of custom animations, a standard set and one with a flip reload, we'll show that off a little bit later, and there's even a unique version of this weapon. If you want to get your hands on one of the regular versions of the lever action shotgun, it can be found after level 10 on Raiders, Gunners, and Minutemen, as well as Trappers from Far Harbor, because Far Harbor is a dependency for this mod. On top of that though, there is actually a unique version that can be found over at Fallon's department store. Inside, find the utility hall where you will find a newly added corpse that looks pretty familiar, and on that corpse you will find the unique known as the bouquet. By far one of the biggest appeals of this mod is the new set of custom animations, the main reason that this mod hasn't been made yet. These new animations are absolutely fantastic and have been ported over by Bwones, and they even have bullet counted reload support, something I know that you would absolutely demand for a mod like this. Really quick, I'd like to give a spotlight to the animations and sounds for this weapon, which there are quite a few of, so sit back and relax and check out the lever action shotgun. Just about everything in this mod is of very high quality, but most of all, this weapon is just very satisfying to use. It's a whole lot of fun and just brings back a lot of nostalgia from using this thing in Fallout New Vegas. So I'd highly recommend picking this one up. This is definitely one of my favorite mods to come out this week. Now, the last weapon mod this week is one that we actually talked about before, and that is the Capital Wasteland Rocket Launcher by Zanthir. This is going to add the classic rocket launcher from Fallout 3 into Fallout 4. Now, to be clear, if you're not familiar with the weapon, this isn't an actual rocket launcher. It's the rocket launcher. It's essentially the precursor to the junk jet in Fallout 4. It allows you to throw all of your junk items into this weapon and shoot them out as projectiles. And of course, once you've shot them, you can go and pick them up. This thing features some brand new custom animations for holding the weapon, and even includes the built-in backpacks just like you would have in Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. Now, this weapon is not added to the leveled list for two reasons. One, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and two, as many of you pointed out in the full breakdown, the way that the ammo works for this weapon pulling from your inventory doesn't work on NPCs, so this is one you're only going to be able to use on your own. And interestingly enough, you don't just go find this at a random location. No, you actually have to craft it just like you did in Fallout 3. There are a ton of new junk items added with this mod that you can purchase from vendors or find in various junk locations. Once you've obtained all the parts, you need to find one of the recipes, which can be found all over the Commonwealth, and once you've got all of the necessary pieces, you can craft this thing at the chemistry station. Very similar to how it was obtained in Fallout 3. Functionally, this thing's going to perform just like the junk jet, but if you're looking for a bit of nostalgia or maybe a replacer for the model of the junk jet, maybe you like this one better, this is definitely one I'd recommend trying out. And finally, that takes us to the last mod this week, which is the Raider Power Armor by Tumbajamba. This is going to add a brand new set of Raider Power Armor into the game, and it looks fantastic. I've always wondered what it would look like to repurpose some of those super mutant parts for a nice set of power armor, and this is actually the answer to that question. It's beautiful, and it even has a lot of customization options as well. There's not only a standard set of this power armor, but a heavy set that offers even beefier components for some true power armor. In terms of performance, this thing is supposed to perform just slightly better than the regular Raider power armor, but not quite on the level as pre-war military power armors, which I think is perfect for this design. Now, I'm sure the big question on your mind is how you actually get your hands on this thing, and it is actually added to 3 brand new unique raiders at different locations. You can head over to Revere Beach Station, Roadside Pines Motel, or Layton Towers. And be careful, each of these raider bosses does put up a pretty good fight, and one of them even comes with a unique legendary weapon, so be careful, he's pretty tough. Once you've taken out one of these raiders, the armor set is yours, and all you gotta do is find yourself a power armor frame to slap this thing onto. Definitely a wonderful set of power armor if you're playing a character who likes to make use of scrappy makeshift weapons and armor, or maybe you're playing as a raider. Either way, this is still a really high quality set of armor, and even if you're not going to use it like myself, it still makes for some cool new enemies added to the game with their own unique look. So yeah, go ahead and check this thing out. It's a wonderful new set of power armor. With that though, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Lots of awesome mods this week. Glad to see that the modding community is still at it, pumping out amazing free content for you guys. If you want to try out any of the mods that were featured this week, they will all be linked down in the description below, along with Xbox links if there are any available. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video. And of course, a very special thank you to Avian4, Captain Chaos, Freedom, Glasma, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Jackie Noid, Kid Hades, Cushy, Logan Rigmaiden, Microhan, Moonlit Gamer, Oscar, Scott, Steven, Timmy76, Youth RC, and Voider for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel over on Patreon, you can do so using the link down in the description, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!